Hello, everybody.
Last person in the waiting room, officer, is Janice Ussery.
Yes.
Okay, there she is. This is 24 BE 04077 and 77A. The first ticket was for speeding. It was written as 16 to 20 over 51 and a 35. The other ticket was no proof of insurance. You have the right to admit or to deny responsibility, or you can admit responsibility with an explanation. As to the speeding ticket, how do you wish to proceed?
I was unaware that I was speeding.
Are you admitting or denying responsibility for speeding, ma'am?
Denying.
And as to the no insurance, are you admitting or denying that?
Denying.
Okay, if you'd raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes.
I do.
Okay, the officer will testify first, please.
Your Honor, on October 9th at 11:36 p.m., I was in the area of 11 Mile Road in Bacon. I had observed a lone vehicle traveling westbound on 11 Mile Road at a speed I estimated to be 50 miles an hour in the 35 mile an hour zone. I had activated my radar and front moving mode and obtained a speed measurement of 51 miles an hour in the posted 35 mile an hour zone. She was cited for the same. My radar was checked before and after shift with no issues, and I'm certified to operate the device. As far as the insurance, Secretary of State showed the vehicle to be not insured, and the driver did not have any proof of insurance on her person.
Thank you. Ms. Ussery,
Yes.
your turn, ma'am.
I was leaving from a friend's house. Like I said, there was not my vehicle, so I was not aware that it was uninsured. From my knowledge, my friend, she works on 23 miles, so I thought that she had insurance. I didn't think I needed to have insurance at the moment because I don't drive and it's not my car. I did express that to the officer that I was unaware and it's not my car. And the speeding, I was pulling from her block, which is on 11 Mile and Borgman. But I think the street is actually called something else. But when I was pulling out, I was just trying to get into traffic, and then I proceeded to do the speed limit. I didn't get pulled over from him until I got all the way down Greenfield and almost near like 696, like by the Kroger's. So I was unaware that I was speeding at all because he was behind me, followed me for a minute before he turned on his lights. And his first words were, were you aware that I was speeding? And I said no.
Okay. Not being aware is not a defense to speeding.
Well, that was his
words.
words.
Responsibility.
No, I'm not saying
you
that.
said repeatedly that you didn't know you were speeding. You said you weren't aware of your speed. You said you weren't aware the vehicle you were driving wasn't insured. Those were your words, not the other.
I didn't say that I was unaware that I didn't know the speed. I said that I was unaware that I was speeding, and I did not think that I was speeding because that's what he told me.
Without a difference, man.
I'm sorry.
That's a distinction without a difference.
Okay, well, I'm trying to tell the truth, and what I'm saying is when I came out into traffic, I was just trying to get out into traffic, and then I felt that I came back to the same speed that it was supposed to be, and he told me that it wasn't, but he allowed me to get all the way down to Greenfield is my concern. So
why is that a concern?
Because if I was speeding, I would have figured he would have pulled me over back on 11 Mile when he said he clocked me for speeding. So
he can stop you whenever he wants to. If he chooses, he can mail you the ticket. He doesn't have to stop you, and he can continue to follow you. And he obviously checked his computer to find out that the Secretary of State's record showed that the vehicle was not insured. That takes time. But the bottom line is that you didn't know you were speeding, but that doesn't change the fact that you were. The officer is certified to operate radar. He used the radar on your vehicle. He measured the vehicle you were driving. He measured the speed at 51 miles an hour in a 35 zone. And that's what you were cited for, and that's what happened. You had no proof of insurance to show him.
I wasn't aware that there was no insurance in the car.
Your awareness doesn't change the fact that the vehicle wasn't insured.
Well, it's not mine, and I didn't think that I had to.
You were the driver, man.
Right, and the moment I thought that there was insurance on the car, like I said, my friend goes to work on 23 miles.
But there wasn't.
I'm sorry?
There wasn't insurance on the car.
Well, then when I asked her about it, which I wasn't aware at the moment. So then when I asked her, she told me that she didn't know that it was expired and that she was going to get it together. But I didn't have insurance because it's not my car. I wasn't aware. I wasn't aware.
I understand that you weren't aware, but that doesn't change the fact that you're responsible. Crimes require an intent to do evil. Civil infractions are just facts. And the fact is that the vehicle that you were driving was not insured. And as the driver, you're responsible for driving a vehicle that was not insured. As to the speeding, the fine is $200. These 2 fines can be paid online. You can mail it in. You can pay it at the counter.
Sir, I'm giving you insurance on a car that's not mine?
Yes.
How
You
do I
can't
do
drive
that?
a car that's not insured.
I'm not driving it. It's not mine.
You were driving it on the date and time that you were stopped.
And I asked him if we can go back to the house so that I can give her her
That
car.
doesn't change it, man.
But I was not aware.
Being unaware is not a defense.
But if
You
the
can be
driver
unaware
did
that
not
there's a car
if the
coming down
driver
the
did
street,
not
but if
alert
you
me,
step
then
in front of it, you're going to get hit.
I know,
Your
but I
awareness
was.
has nothing to do with the facts.
I'm saying, but the driver did not alert me that their insurance was not valid.
That is not something that is a defense.
Wait, how?
You can't drive a car that's not insured.
But I didn't know that it wasn't insured. She showed me.
Ma'am,
That.
I don't know what part of this you're not hearing. Your awareness is not an element. You are responsible for what you did. You drove a car that was not insured, whether you knew it was insured or whether you didn't know it was insured. It doesn't change the fact that it wasn't insured. You can
How
pay the
can I
ticket.
be held accountable for something that I wasn't aware of?
Ma'am, if you step in front of a moving car that you're not aware of, you're going to get hit. And
Right, but isn't it on the driver to pay attention as well?
Reality. Your awareness is not a condition of reality. Reality exists, whether you're aware of it or not. It is irrelevant. Your responsibility is to comply with the law.
If I'm not acknowledged that I'm supposed to have that the car is not insured, how am I supposed to understand that? Like I said, my friend goes to work on 23 mile every day. I'm thinking that her car is insured. She's not.
And you were thinking
she's not getting pulled over.
I'm not mistaken, man.
So how can I help? How can I be held accountable? Is there a way to?
Mr. Deacon?
Yes, sir.
The file bears the caption 16-02042, people of the state of Michigan versus Patrick Evan Deacon.
May it please the court, for the record, Eugene Lumberg on behalf of Mr. Deacon, who is present, Your Honor. He is presently incarcerated and has no objection to proceed via Zoom. He understands that I represent him for today and today only. He is requesting court-appointed attorney going forward. I have read him his constitutional rights. He tells me he understands those rights. He wishes to stand mute to the charge today, would ask the court to enter a not guilty. We are ready to argue bond, Your Honor. It's my understanding that he's here on a bench warrant issued 2020 out of this court for failure to appear to a program.
I've noted that he's requested appointed counsel. We will set a hearing date on the violation. And for an address, is the Martin Street address still good, sir?
No.
What address can we use?
Pontiac, Michigan.
You know the zip code there?
I don't, not off the top of my head, I'm sorry.
Lumber, I think we're to the point of bond now.
Yes, Your Honor. If Your Honor will note, this bench warrant was issued in 2020. My client tells me that that was the beginning of the COVID situation, which enters into some of his problems back then. He has a clean record as far as I know. Your Honor checked his record for me. He tells me he has no convictions. He originally went under a 7411 and was told to report to a residential treatment program within 24 hours. He tells me that when he reported, he didn't have his ID because his ID was over at as far as he knew, was at the police department and hadn't been transferred, I guess, over to the county jail. So they wouldn't get him in, and he had a problem because of the lockdown, because of COVID, getting things from the jail. Be that as it may, he obviously did not appear. He had a drug problem that he had to address. It's been 4 years. He's out of work right now. He's homeless. He's 37 years old. He's single. He picks up odd jobs, supports himself. Presently is living with a friend. Living with him also at the friend's apartment is his aged mother, who has lupus and early onset of Alzheimer's, who he takes care of. He tries to do construction, restaurant, or landscaping. Obviously, he's not doing landscaping right now, and isn't a lot of outdoor construction going on. The bond is set pretty high, $50,000 cash or surety, and no 10%. I guess that's the product of him not showing up 4 years ago to the residential program. Again, I would ask the court to consider what was going on. There were a lot of things that couldn't be done, in the year 2020, 2021. And I would ask the court to consider a personal bond. Obviously, he's not a threat to society. He has not committed any crimes other than this one. And certainly without funds, he's not a flight risk. Plus taking care of his aged mother with her medical problems.
Is there a phone number for Mr. Deacon?
Mr. Deacon, you have a phone number?
I don't know it off the top of my head. They have my phone in the Royal Oak property, but yes, I have a phone number. My mother has a phone number. When I was even coming in here, one of the Royal Oak police officers that was booking me in said something about a potential tether. I'll do anything to I'm my mom's only caregiver, and I'm currently in the middle of
Mr. Deacon, understand that a tether there's considerable cost to tethers. Okay, let's let the judge. His question is, do you have a phone number?
I have
and your answer is you do have a phone. You don't know the number, but you can supply that when you get a hold of the phone. Obviously, okay. Is it a throwaway phone, a burner, or is it a permanent phone?
The permanent phone. The guys hold. I have the phone number right here.
Okay.
My phone number is 947.
Great, thank you.
Being homeless, Mr. Deacon, means that you may not get mail at that Pontiac address. So it's incumbent upon you to notify the court
Absolutely.
of mailing addresses and to check and make sure of dates.
Absolutely.
So mail sent to you address will in fact get to you.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Well, how is it? I'm going to ask your attorney. How is it that he came into custody now?
I'm not certain, Your Honor. You can answer that question, Mr. Deacon.
So me and my mother were walking from the transit center to a gas station to get cigarettes and something to drink. And a Detroit cop came up and asked us our name. We gave him our name. He ran our name, and Royal Oak said to come pick me up. I had nothing on me when they picked me up.
All right, but they didn't arrest you.
No.
Okay. Your Honor, I forgot one thing. He tells me that he's just been getting funding from one of the agencies for housing. And if he goes to jail, that funding will fall through. So he was hoping to get that funding in place so he and his mother would have a place. They have a place. They're just waiting for the funding.
Yeah, I went and looked at an apartment on Saturday. The landlord is
Okay.
to go.
Bottom line here, Mr. Deacon, is that we're looking at a matter that started in 2016.
I understand.
We sit here in 2024. There's been a gap of 4 years. However, during that gap, you were never arrested for anything else.
No.
Now, had you turned yourself in, the thing would have had a slightly different complexion. But on the other hand, that which brought you to the police, to the attention of the police department, was not the commission of another crime. You can't ignore court orders. The computer does not forget.
I understand.
And Judge Meineke went a long mile with you on multiple issues. You've been in court in front of him multiple times and failed to appear more than a couple times. And you've simply got to get back to court.
I understand.
This is a thing that isn't going to go away. It's not going to fade into the past. You have to stand up and address these issues. They're not going to just fade away.
I understand.
On the other hand, I understand that while there's a $50,000 bond, there's no way in the world that you can pay that kind of money on short notice. And you could lose the funding for the housing, and your mother could lose a caregiver. Balancing all these things together creates a real problem for you and your mother. Because part of how you're going to take care of your mother is by taking care of business here. I am going to modify the bond from $50,000 cash surety, no 10%, to $50,000 personal. You really don't want to miss court.
I on my mother's soul, Your Honor, I will not miss.
You understand what the judge just did. He said
I
a
do.
personal bond.
I do. I am so grateful.
Make sure you show up when you're supposed to show up.
I promise. I so badly want to get my life back on track. I know you guys hear this all the time, but I hate this life. I hate this. I just need to get back on my feet. And this is
Okay, we're giving you a chance here, Mr. Deacon, and I hope that I'm not just giving you enough rope that you can wrap it around your neck.
no.
You really want to, you need to appear. Don't miss court. Now, if you fail to appear, Judge Meineke might look at the file and he might see that I lowered the bond and he might say why, and I tell him why. But if that's the case, I'm still going to have 3 meals where I want to have them that day.
I know.
You wouldn't be in this boat. You're not going to get another personal bond if you fail to appear.
I
You
understand.
understand that? Okay. Good luck to you.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Good luck, Mr. Deacon.
Thank you so much.
All right, sit there right down. Be a personal bond. I'll bring the paperwork over as soon as it's done. It'll be released. And just like they told you, you best come back to court. If you don't get a notice in the mail, call the court, take the bus in here, come into the window, and they'll give you the date and time.
I love you all so much. Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.